Hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you how you can turn a big thrifted shirt into a fitted dress with sleeves. That's today on Refashioning with Rachel. First, turn your shirt inside out. For this project, you will need a pattern for a shift dress with a bust dart. I'm using a pattern I drafted myself and tweaked many times. You can do the same or buy one, or in a pinch, you can just fold a shirt in half that fits you well and use that as a pattern, although you won't have the bust darts, so it might not fit as well. Line up the center front of the pattern with the center of the button placket, and line up the shoulder with the top of your shirt. Then trace around your pattern. My pattern does not have seam allowances included, so I'm adding them as I'm tracing. And also transfer all the markings for the bust dart. Use a straight edge to draw the stitching lines of the dart. And since my shirt does not flare out as much as my pattern, I'm just drawing a straight line from the waist to the bottom of the shirt. And it's okay if your pattern goes into the sleeves a little bit. Now turn your shirt over and do the same thing with the back. I have a nice little fold line down the center back of my shirt that I'm using to line up the pattern. And now cut along the lines you just made. If everything went according to plan, the shoulder seams from the front and the back should line up nicely. Now sew up the bust darts. Fold them in half to match up the notches on the edges, and sew, allowing the stitch to run off the edge. Leave the threads a few inches long and tie them into a knot 3 times. Use an iron to press the darts down. Now, moving on to the sleeves. Use a shirt that fits you well and lie the sleeve on top of the shirt sleeve, lining up the ends of the cuffs and the folds on the tops of the sleeves. And then trace around the sleeve, adding 1/2 inch for seam allowance. And cut. Cut in a little notch to mark the center of the shoulder. And do the same thing with the other sleeve. Now open up your front and back part of the dress and cut in a notch at the center of the armhole. Line up the sleeves with the armholes, making sure the button placket is facing toward the back. Then pin the sleeves to the armholes with right sides together, starting at the center of the shoulder, and then working from each end of the armhole back up toward the center. As you are pinning, you may find that you have a little extra fabric in the sleeve than you have in the armhole. So just leave that extra fabric at the center of the shoulder, and we can gather that up when we sew. And sew. When you get to the center of the shoulder, if you have any extra fabric in the sleeves, just gather it up in a few little pleats and stitch it down. Then serge or zigzag the raw edge. And now you should have this big T or plus sign of fabric. And you're going to sew or zigzag all of these raw edges. Since we put darts in the front, there will be a discrepancy in length between the front and the back. I'll show you how we fix that in a bit, but for now, make a mark 1 inch from the bottom on both sides of the front of the dress. Now fold everything in half with right sides together and pin all along the underarms and the sides, stopping at the point where we made the mark. And as you can see here, the back will probably be about 1 inch longer than the front. And now sew, starting at the cuffs, working your way down to the sides, and stopping where we made that mark. And now press the side seam open. Tuck in the little ends from the serger and stitch around the opening, using about 1/4 inch for seam allowance. And finish off the cuff by tucking the ends of the serging stitch into the seam and folding the seam over and making a stitch just a few millimeters away from the folded edge. And then this project is finished. So here's a reminder of how it looked before. And here's how it looks now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and comment if you did. And have a beautiful day.